Everyone's favourite time of the week?
Everyone's favourite time?
Yeah, well, my favourite time of the week. Around the world, where we visit some exotic locations on this globe of ours, and maybe visit some of the sporting stories we may have missed from around the world across the last 7 days or so. I'm fairly loose with the links, quite tenuous they can be at times, but it's our quirky sporting segment that we love to do once a week on OTB AM. I'm going to start this week, Ger, in the United States of America. Bit of baseball for you, sport we don't get to touch on too often on the show, but Aaron Judge, he's a baseball player. His record-breaking 60-second home run ball has been sold at auction. It got me thinking about sporting memorabilia and items and how much they're worth and what price we put on them. Like we were talking on the show the other morning about Kylian Mbappe's hat-trick ball. I assume he picked up the ball for his hat-trick.
Well,
he surely did.
It's obviously like 15 different balls used during the game. So
yeah, but I guess it's a World Cup final ball. Hopefully someone had the sense to get him the ball and get the French team to sign it for him. But this record-setting home run ball sold for $1.5 million. The prized memorabilia offered by Golden Auctions. The bidding closed on Saturday night. So a guy called Corey Humans, now he's a very well-to-do man himself, who happened to catch the ball in the left field seats at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, a number of months ago. He turned down a private offer of $3 million because he said, I want to give people a fair chance at buying it. So put it up for auction. Ends up only making $1.5 million. But as I said, this guy's quite rich anyway. He just happened to catch the ball, so you can't feel too sorry for him. So he set this American League record of 62 home runs on October 4th in Texas. So this surpassed Roger Maris's 61-year-old mark of 61 back in 1961. Look, it's one of those things. There's a YouTube channel even my brother watches. Zach Hempel is the guy's name, where he goes around different baseball grounds in America just trying to catch baseballs and positioning himself in certain parts of the ground where he can make that possible. And the collection of balls, the thousands of balls he has, some of which are quite famous, like when you catch a home run ball or a record-setting home run ball like this, clearly then that ball can be sold at auction for a pretty penny. So it's a job essentially. Going down to these baseball grounds and trying to catch the ball. Sometimes he gives them off to young kids who maybe when he gets an extra. The number 62, the 62 home runs that Aaron Judge achieved back in October, it's not actually a record. Major League Baseball players have on occasion hit more homers in a season. We've got Sammy Sosa with 66, Mark McGwire with 70, and Barry Bonds with 73. Now the asterisk that is placed over those three is that they were linked to allegedly using performance-enhancing drugs. Barry Bonds, the home run king, as he was dubbed, convicted back in 2011, I think it was, of obstruction of justice for lying to a grand jury about using steroids and human growth hormone. So that's why the 62 home runs of Aaron Judge is actually an historic number.
A little bit of so Aaron Judge obviously signed a fat contract, like is it $350 million for 10 years with the Yankees, but he was supposed to sign with San Francisco Giants. He was always like, San Francisco was my favourite team when I was a kid. I always wanted to sign for them. And then all of a sudden the Yankees came in with this is your offer.
Money, yeah.
Overnight, the San Francisco Giants had Carlos Correa, who was going to be his replacement in. And like, don't worry everybody, calm down. Okay, so we didn't get Aaron Judge. We're going to get Carlos Correa. And then Carlos Correa just signed for somebody else overnight as well. So the San Francisco Giant fans not so happy this morning. That's twice they've been jilted. But
the fickle nature of sport. Yeah, it's one of those things. Baseball fans often get let down by big money, and the money in baseball is quite insane, which is why this story caught my eye. Now that Mark McGwire I mentioned, his 70th home run ball from 1998 was sold for $3.05 million back in 98 to Todd McFarlane, the amazing Spider-Man comic book artist and writer. He's the one who bought it. That was the most expensive ball ever, and record still stands. So yeah, $1.5 million. Got me thinking, what do you have out there in your closet? What do you have that's sitting at home that could be worth a pretty penny? I'm someone that like to collect autographs and little bits of memorabilia. I have a bit of dirt from Fenway Park in a little bag. They were doing up the pitch and some of the red dirt there.
Have you ever tried to get a valuation on any of the stuff?
No, I have a Muhammad Ali signed glove that his manager gave me in Vegas over the summer that I would imagine is probably the one of the more expensive items.
Is it?
You see, some of them are up on eBay for certain prices, but because of the provenance, which is the proof you have that it's authentic. I mean, being given to me by his manager is my provenance and proof. So I don't know what the price of an Ali signed glove is, but it's something that's only going to go up in value, I'd imagine, over the years. Definitely people at home have and people watching this morning have things worth
€145 on eBay at the moment for a signed glove.
See, a lot of those are like, show me the certificate of authenticity, show me the things that prove that that's Ali's signature, and it's not just a copy or someone sitting in their basement practicing his signature over and over.
Yeah,
I've got the proof, Ger. So that's look, money can't buy happiness either, and it's sitting at home. And
1,500 is another one. Maybe is that getting closer?
That's
to
getting closer.
I'm interested now.
That's getting closer. Yeah. I still wouldn't part with it. But that's story number one, Ger. Do you have anything at home?
Cassius Clay signed Everlast glove.
Ah, yeah, the old signature.
€1,426.
See, it's the same with Buzz Aldrin. So Buzz Aldrin,
He changed his name as well.
Well, yeah, his real name is Edwin Aldrin. Edwin Eugene Aldrin. And when he was younger, when he was a kid, I think his little sister couldn't pronounce the word brother. She used to call him Buzzer, and that was shortened then to Buzz.
Right.
And he became Buzz, of course, which is a great astronaut name. Makes sense, and hence Buzz Lightyear became who he was in Toy Story. But he often signed, he's of course still signs as Buzz Aldrin, but if you can find an old signature of Edwin Aldrin,
it's worth way more.
It's worth more. And it's certainly signed in the 60s, 70s, that kind of era.
So tell us your stories of sports tat this morning, and we'll try and put a value on your sports tat.
Indeed. We're next headed in around the world this morning, on this Wednesday morning, to Dubai. Scott McTominay is getting himself in a little bit of bother. There's a photograph on screen of him holding a rope in a tug of war scenario. Now, at the other end of that rope was a full-blown tiger at an exotic zoo. So, taking some advantage, Scott, of his time off before the return of Premier League action, he head to Dubai with his girlfriend. Fair enough. Paid a visit to this private fame park, it's called, to get up close and personal with a number of exotic animals. Some snaps shared by McTominay on his social media account raised a few eyebrows. Fairly innocent in some quarters. Some people didn't seem to care or notice. He's petting monkeys. He's got a snake around his neck. But after posting this footage and photos from the trip, some animal charities and football fans as well were lining up to express their disappointment with the Scotland international midfielder. Catherine Wise of World Animal Protection saying it's disappointing. These incredible animals are not commodities to gain likes on social media. Captive wild animals face a lifetime of suffering just for the enjoyment of tourists. Wild animals are not ours to exploit, they belong in the wild. Another from the Four Paws charity said it's so upsetting to see someone who so many people look up to acting in this way. And Humane Society International saying facilities excuse their human versus beast experiences like tug of war as helpful for welfare by mimicking natural behaviours, but does have a strange vibe to it. And I looked up this Fame Park's website and the guy in Dubai who runs it, and the entire social media, massive following on social media, but they're all like footballers and celebrities, and it's like he just brings in people with a large social media following to get the photos, take the picture, post it on their social media, and increase awareness of this park in Dubai. So perhaps inadvertently, Scott McTominay's landed himself in a little bit of bother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
James Cruz has a Brazil jersey signed by Jarzinho and DJ Carey.
All right. Sorry, by Jarzinho and DJ Carey.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a unique piece, a one-of-a-kind piece. I used to, that's a very good one.
Matty Cash has Messi and Mbappe from this World Cup.
Right.
Put them together.
Yeah, the jerseys.
Put them together in the same thing. Get them signed.
Yeah. Is there anyone you would... obviously, we're professional in this broadcasting game, but is there anyone you would actually ask for an autograph or selfie?
No.
No?
Oh, for a selfie?
Well, either one, yeah.
Well,
so you dismissed autograph there as if, nah.
Well, not sports related. You can't do it in sport.
True, yeah. For professionalism reasons.
Yeah.
So who would you do it outside of sport?
I'll give me two names. Stevie Van Zandt was upstairs. I got one with him.
Right, yeah.
Big Sopranos fan.
Fair, yeah.
And I'm just completely blanking on his name.
I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I did get Bryan Cranston once, selfie with him.
Where was that?
That was over in London at a book signing. He was signing autographs, and we bonded over the fact that he has ancestry in County Armagh, and I was like, I'm pretty close to County Armagh.
You bonded.
I was born in County Armagh, in fact. So we
here's my shtick, stay away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
no personal space.
yeah, friends with Heisenberg. I'm going to stick that on my LinkedIn. Yeah, there's certain people I regret it. I remember Roger Moore was in the office one day before he passed away, and I didn't get a photo with him, and I regretted that. I did regret it. I was like,
was that little Bono lookalike in
yeah.
a while ago?
It fooled a lot of people, I think, in the office.
We still haven't collected our winnings on that not being him. Anyway,
Yeah,
go on next.
yeah. So we'll move on to back to America. In fact, the USA. Camille Herron is not a name that most of you will be familiar with. That's her in the image on screen if you're watching us. She put her heart and soul into breaking the 100-mile world record, but officials now say the course was too short. Can you imagine this? So she crossed the finish line at the Jackpot Ultra Running Festival's 100-mile race in Henderson, Nevada. This was back in February. And she did so as the outright winner. She beat all the male competitors as well. World record time. So a staggering average pace for 100 miles. Consider this, of 7 minutes and 37 seconds per mile. So her time of 12 hours, 41 minutes and 11 seconds. Almost a minute and a half faster than the record she had previously set back in 2017. But as far as the record books were concerned, her efforts appeared to be in vain. In October, they remeasured the course, which looped around Henderson's Cornerstone Park. And then officials from USA Track and Field deemed it was short by 716 feet, which is 218 metres. You imagine running 100 miles and being told months later after your world record has been set, sorry, you were 716 feet short. Now she has, and the reason I'm talking about it now is because she has only recently come out criticising these inaccuracies as wrong. She said, I definitely wanted to count as a record because I put my heart and soul into it. Such an historical moment for the sport. She remains adamant that she ran at least 100 miles that day. That view is shared, of course, by her husband and coach, Connor Holt. Holt said it was a public park on the day. She was having to weave around people. So, people out walking their dogs. There was baby strollers. The park was full. It wasn't a set course on the day. So 716 feet, or 218 metres, they argue, was easily made up in the weaving around people and things and items.
Come on.
Which I think is fair. And then the race director...
It's not like a little chip that she could have been wearing that would have done exactly this.
Well, that would have solved everything, you'd imagine.
Get the Stat Sports crew on it and they'd be like, oh no, it's 101 miles, what are you talking about?
They just use the course, which doesn't seem too accurate or too technical, but the co-race director said the course was remeasured by a course measurement official on February 27th, certified as 100.00396 miles, which was accurate. 8 months later then, the course was remeasured once more and yielded this distance shy of 100 miles. But of course, she believes now that the record from back in February and the course measurement from February should stand. So, look, I feel for anyone who's run a marathon or even run 5k to be told that it was feet short. It would ruin your happiness. But to run 100 miles and then to be told, nah, sorry, your record doesn't stand.
Martin Sheen was in the office. He was another one that I.
Oh,
yeah.
Apocalypse Now.
That's really it.
Yeah, there's a couple that I would definitely. I would get the selfies with autographs and.
Followed Quentin Tarantino into the cinema one time.
Did you?
Did, yeah.
Bit creepy.
Bit creepy, but we were just. There was a few of us, so it was fine.
You didn't get a photo, no?
He doesn't do photos.
Quentin doesn't?
No.
Did you say hello to him or get a chance?
We were watching other people ask for photos, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really do that, but I'll take your hand." And we were like, "That's creepy."
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, when it's that organised, it's not great. I remember that someone got the Mayo jersey in, was it Knock Airport, signed by Pope Francis? Like that's you're talking about the Jairzinho and DJ Kerry thing. That's a unique one of one item. Someone out there has a Mayo jersey signed by the Pope.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
not a huge. Maybe there is a big market for that. Maybe that's a huge.
Oh, Pope signatures online are
they big?
That's big, yeah.
Oh,
that's a big
right.
big thing. And US presidents is another massive one. Barack
Right.
Obama's signature is fairly financially lucrative if you can get it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who's buying this crap?
I mean, the first African American president, that's going to be worth something in 50, 100 years.
Just sign something like what?
I know, but if someone handed you a piece of paper right now signed by, like you can go to the National Museum and see certain items signed by, Easter Rising leaders, or the treaty signed by Collins.
That is like an actual historical document as opposed to a scrap of paper. The bit where he signed Obamacare into law, right? That document, or the Good Friday Agreement signed. friend of mine has a copy of the Good Friday Agreement signed by everybody who was involved in it, and I think that's an important historical document.
Like an original signature?
I can see that, yeah.
Whoa.
But like, you know, I got your autograph, sir, in my autograph book. I'm sorry, this is your entire youth I'm pissing on here. I don't mean to.
No, but I see
I don't see for you, it's important, right?
I see your point. Well, I have photographs of astronauts on the moon signed by them, so that's a document, I guess. It's not a document. It's a photo of them in context.
Yeah.
But then again, like if you have a piece of paper signed by Joseph Plunkett or James Connolly, just a piece of paper, I mean, it's still an historical document years later, 100 years later.
Okay.
We'll agree to disagree. Autographs. If you're collecting autographs out there, listen to me. Hold on to them. Don't listen to Jer. And the final place we're going with around the world on this morning's segment is to Portugal. That guy in that photograph, his name is Matt Formston. The thing about him is he's blind. Look at the size of the waves behind him. So this is he's an Australian surfer. This is in Portugal, one of the Holy Grails, Nazaré in Portugal, where people go for some of the hugest waves in the world. Now imagine doing that with full eyesight, and then imagine trying to do it blind. He's one of the best disabled surfers in the world, 44 years of age, Matt Formston, this Aussie. He's always dreamed of being a professional surfer. He's got macular dystrophy in his eyes. So he says he grew up with full vision, and then when he was about 5 years old, lost 95% of his peripheral vision, which is the outsides of your vision, of course, and all of his central vision. So he says, if you put your fist in front of your eyes, which blocks out all of your central vision, I can only see the outsides. But of that, if you blurred it out, make it blurry, it's all blurry, like rubbing your windscreen with sandpaper, as he describes it. So this was in November at the age of 44. He added surf's Holy Grail in Portugal, waves up to 12 metres tall to his collection. As he puts it, most sighted surfers don't really want anything to do with the waves in Nazaré in Portugal. He doesn't consider himself exceptional. He says when conditions are really good, many surfers stay out well after the sun goes down. So they surf like me in the dark. I just do it every day. I think he's downplaying his achievements there. He trained extensively for this as well, worked on his breathing, ultimately able to hold his breath for up to 5 minutes, which is quite extraordinary. Jet skis towing him out to the spot where the waves break. A really, really incredible human being. And his next dream is to see parasurfing making its Paralympic debut in 2028 in Los Angeles. So that's his hope. He is someone who has already been at the Paralympic Games. He was a cycling Paralympian in the 2016 Games in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So really impressive person, and I thought deserved a mention because when you look at those waves and the photo of him on the water, and you consider the fact that he has very little eyesight, it's quite extraordinary.
Those waves are absolutely amazing. Right, that's this week's episode of Around the World with Shane Hannon.